Where? How you feeling, pops?
Once again, it's on.
Yes, sir.
Assalamu alaikum, son.
Wa alaikum salam. You're looking good.
Thank you, son. Appreciate you,
Yes,
man.
sir.
You looking
Very
youthful
youthful.
as well. Yes, sir.
Appreciate you,
Yes,
sir.
Got the
You
head
know, it's
top,
another
man.
day in paradise out here. So.
Yeah, Sunshine State. You know what I mean?
Word.
All good. All praise due to Allah. Yes, sir.
Welcome back,
man.
viewers, followers,
Salute, world.
subscribers, the whole world.
Yeah.
Welcome back to another episode of TwoTreys podcast. It's me, Son Trey, and always with me is Pop Trey.
Salute.
Pops, want to go ahead and let them know why we do this every episode?
Oh, indeed, man. Every time we get on this platform, we're trying to bring the fathers and the sons closer together. We're trying to bring the youth together with the elders, and just show love to our black communities, men, women, and children, and to support the black community and black liberation, because that's what we want at the end of the day. So salute. That's our purpose.
Yes, sir. All right, let's get into the next part of our show, which is our honorable mention that you submitted for us today, Pops.
Yes, sir.
I have their picture pulled up, and I can read the biography as well if you'd like.
Yes, sir. Take it away.
Our honorable mention for today is Ronald E. McNair.
Salute.
Dr. Ronald Irwin McNair was born in 1950 in a low-income community in South Carolina. In 1971, he graduated magna cum laude from North Carolina A&T State University with a Bachelor's of Science degree in physics. He then enrolled in Massachusetts Institute of Technology. At first, McNair was afraid to pursue physics at the graduate level for fear he could not compete. However, he persisted through his trepidation, and in 1976, at the age of 26, he graduated with honors and earned his PhD degree in laser physics. Dr. McNair soon became a recognized expert in laser physics while working as a staff physicist with Hughes Research Laboratory. In 1978, NASA picked 35 new astronauts from 8,000 applicants. Among them were McNair and two other African Americans, including Colonel Ginwan Bluford, who in 1983 became the first African American to travel into space. In 1984, McNair was mission specialist aboard the flight of the Space Shuttle Challenger, making him the second African American to fly to space. McNair and the four other crew members logged 191 hours in space on the 8-day mission. Challenger made 128 orbits of the Earth on that trip. For his achievements, Ronald E. McNair received 3 honorary doctorate degrees and many fellowships and commendations. These distinctions included Presidential Scholar from 1967 to 71, Ford Foundation Fellow, National Fellowship Fund Fellow, Omega Sci-Fi Scholar of the Year, Distinguished National Scientist, National Society of Black Professional Engineers, and the Friend of Freedom Award in 1981. Ronald E. McNair also held a 5th degree black belt in karate and was an accomplished jazz saxophonist. He was married and was the dedicated father of a daughter and son. After his death in the Challenger explosion in 1986, members of Congress provided funding for the Robert E. McNair Post-Baccalaureate Achievement Program to encourage students from low-income, first-generation college backgrounds or students from groups underrepresented in fields of graduate study to enroll in graduate studies. Our McNair program at UC Berkeley is dedicated to the high standards of achievements inspired by Dr. McNair's life. We salute you, Dr.
Salute.
E. McNair.
Absolutely. I actually remember that incident with the explosion of the space shuttle in 1986. Yeah, I was in elementary school watching it on TV. And next thing I know, wow. Never forget it, man. Never forget it. But salute, Mr. Dr. Nick McNair. Indeed.
Word. All right, Pops. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into our topic of conversation for today.
Yes.
If you want to go ahead and let the viewers know what we will be discussing, and we'll just go ahead and dive in.
Absolutely, son. Well, being that the hot thing of the day and night was after Sunday, particularly the award show called the Oscars. Now, we all heard about the famous smack in the face from Will Smith to our fellow brother Chris Rock. Whether you agree with Chris Rock or not, like Chris Rock or not, that is a violent act. A violent act. And there's been a lot of division, I would say, pertaining to the incident, whether it was real, whether it was fake, whether he should, whether he shouldn't, whether it was a joke, whether it should have been taken as an offensive comment or a joke. So, everybody's been weighing in. And, it's something that, we really can't ignore, even though, we don't particularly want to, parlay in the, drama, rumor world of entertainment and what have you. There's always, in my opinion, a teachable moment, shall you say. And we can always learn lessons in everything in which we see done on TV from other people's actions and reactions. So before we go any further, do you have the clip of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan?
Yeah, I had that pulled up for us.
All right. Can we roll that awesome footage before we dive in? Because I think I just want to set the precedence for today's topic and for today's discussion actually, and I just wanted it to be put out there what I would consider to be our master teacher, leader, and guide. How would he pursue this particular situation? How would he handle this particular joke from his brother? So I just want to, just set the mood, so to speak.
All right.
If you don't mind, son.
I'll go ahead and pull that up for us.
Yes, please. Because, question is,
before the Muslims go into battle, the Quran orders us to settle our differences. Doesn't say that we won't have differences among ourselves. But what it does say is that we have a duty to settle all differences between us. How do you settle a difference? You have to state to the party that you have aggrieved or that is aggrieved by you. Go to the party and state to them why you feel the way you feel.
Fair use.
Let's sit down and talk about it and hash it out till we become a family again. Now, in settling differences, are you listening?
Yes, sir.
In settling differences, there has to be on the side of the person who is wrong the willingness to repent. And on the side of the party that has been wronged, the willingness to forgive. When you have proud, arrogant people who don't even want to admit that they wronged their sister or wronged their brother, then you got some, well, even after you repent, they say, well, I ain't gonna forgive you. Well, you got to get up out of here then. I'm throwing you out. If you can't repent of wrong and forgive one another, then you don't have no part with me. And I want no part with you. Because as a people, we will never have unity if we're going to harbor in our hearts the debris and hatred and bitterness from petty things that make us enemies of one another. So if we have to go into battle, I can't trust you at my back. You can't trust your sister or brother because we have become each other's enemies. In the Quran, we are told to stand in battle like a solid wall. You can't be a solid wall against the enemies of righteousness if you have become enemies of one another. Settle your differences. But first, there must be the willingness to acknowledge when truth is spoken that I'm wrong. Nobody wants to be wrong. Everybody wants to be right. But in settling differences, you got to listen to your brother, listen to your sister, and stop a moment. Don't put up the defense. Every time somebody tells you something that you did wrong, here's what you do. You're trying to position yourself so you can get in a position to throw your blow. You're not going to settle a difference that way. You know how you settle a difference? When somebody comes complaining to you of something you've said or done, stop a moment and see if you can see yourself from their perspective. Just stop a moment and say, well, let me see. I don't think I'm wrong in this matter at all. But let me see if I can see me from your perspective. Tell me what it is that I've said that offended you. And you know something? When you begin to see from each other's perspective, you say, well, yeah, from your perspective, I could have been wrong, but let me show you another perspective. Now you begin to reason with each other, and you know what? You begin to find out it was so simple. And you allowed a wall to come between you when it could have been broken down, but you kept adding bricks to the wall against your brother to justify your nasty attitude one toward the other. If you're a Christian or a Muslim of another persuasion or a Hebrew, regardless to your religious persuasion, the principle that I am talking about is universal. The Christian community must settle your differences. The Muslims must settle the differences. And then as a people, we must settle the differences between ourselves. Otherwise, there's no reconciliation. There can be no unity. And when we're facing what we are about to face from the government of the United States and from enemies within and without, we will be overrun and overcome.
I think that was well put. Pops, what do you want to speak on that?
Well, I hear something in the back. Well, it's this simple. If Will Smith would have just not reacted in a way in which he wanted to confront Chris Rock on stage and gave him the opportunity by expressing himself to Chris Rock about the joke that his wife didn't find it amusing and demanded Chris Rock to appear on stage after the commercial break or what have you, before his next presentation, demand an apology, since the act was done on stage, or the joke or the offense that Jada felt was done on stage, give this man, your brother, an opportunity to say, okay, I will apologize. But when you do not allow your brother the opportunity to hear your grievance, as you can see, Chris Rock was in a joking mode. He is a comedian. His job on that show was to make the crowd laugh, and he was doing a good job at it. He mentioned another couple in which I found it to be a little bit, more risque, in which somebody could have caught a feeling or two when he had mentioned that the two actors, a man and a woman, I forgot their names, but he mentioned how the man might win an Oscar or win the award, and the woman would not, and that the woman would be upset with the man in the event when they go home. Those two individuals laugh. Then immediately he looks at Jada and refers to her being having a role in the next G.I. Jane.
Hey, Pops, real quick, I can go ahead and play the video so we all have a. So I just want to make sure, what I'm saying, for the viewers out there that may have not seen it.
I mean, yo, man, it's been all over the world. Everybody has seen it by now, but go ahead. Let's go ahead and recap, so to speak.
You know who's got the hardest job tonight? Javier Bardem and his wife are both nominated. Now, if she loses, he can't win. He is praying that Will Smith wins. Like, please, Lord. Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right?
G. Will? Pause.
That was a nice one. Okay. I'm out here.
You wanted to pause it? Yeah.
Rewind just a little bit. Rewind to Will Smith sitting next to Jada. And right after he gave that joke. Right there. Right there. Can you go back? Right there. Just leave it right there. Just leave it right there. Right there. Where you going, son?
Hold on. I got it.
All right. Perfect.
That's it.
Perfect. Perfect. Do you see any anger in that man right there? Do you see any hate? Do you see any animosity? Do you see any inclination that would make him feel that Chris Rock meant that joke in a harsh or insulting or disrespectful kind of way?
Right.
I mean, what do you see, son?
My thing is, and why I have a big issue with his what Will Smith decided to do was because right here in this frame you can see that his first reaction was not the action that transpired. His first reaction is, what we see right here, which was to laugh.
Laughter.
So the reaction. Go ahead.
So that also means that he knew that Chris Rock didn't mean anything derogatory, insulting towards Jada and her ailment. Okay? It was three words? Jada. G.I. Jane 2. How can you put those 3 or 4 words and conclude that it was an insulting verbiage about her ailment. Obviously, if anybody has never seen G.I. Jane, please watch it. Because the woman depicted, I believe the actress name was Demi Moore, she depicted as a woman going into the army or military, I believe, and going through the trials and tribulations of a woman going through the boot camp and in the whole situation. In which, at the end of the movie, obviously, she comes out victorious, life goes on, everybody's happy. But it also was a movie about women empowerment. So if Chris Rock is referring to Jada as the next role of G.I. Jane #2, I believe he is actually giving her a compliment. He is not insulting her. He is not talking about the ailment in which now she has, I believe, lost her hair. But I believe that she didn't lose all of her hair. She decided to cut it, right?
Yeah, it's a alopecia. Everyone, it's not
Right.
just disease women suffer, men suffer too, in our beards, and I'm saying when we get older, we may develop it later
Right.
as well. But it's just patchiness within the hair.
Okay. So she decided just to cut it all off because she didn't want the patches. I understand that. But Chris Rock didn't mean for those words to be intended or targeted to the ailment. So when we got people going at Chris Rock because, oh, he said something about her. No. Why are you changing the narrative and the intention of the joke? And if those who've seen G.I. Jane, you know G.I. Jane wasn't an empowered, strong woman, even though it was played by a white woman. Now, Chris Rock is saying, hey, Jada, you got the right look for the next G.I. Jane. Period. That's on the joke. Okay? Now, let's get to the response from my brother Will. Obviously, he thought it was funny.
Yeah, and real quick,
Go ahead.
maybe I'll just save it till after we play it. Yeah.
Go ahead.
That was a nice one. Okay. I'm out here. Richard. Oh, wow. Wow. Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me.
Hold on, go back.
What's that?
Go back a little bit to the where he was walking on stage.
Walking off or walking on?
Walking off. A little bit back. Can you put it in slow motion?
Yeah. Let's see.
Slow motion for me. Slow motion for me. Because it kind of looks like he was grinning.
Wow.
Did I see his face?
Will Smith just smacked the shit
All right,
out
you
of
can
me.
pause it. Yo, this man does not look like a man who felt insulted or angry at
Right.
the brother he just smacked.
And that's why I wanted to wait to say what I wanted to say till after that was played.
Okay.
To say this. You never allow someone to put a battery in your back.
Right.
And what I mean by that is, if
Shalom, Precious.
you can't react, you don't react on the feelings of others. If you don't have that sentiment or the same feeling as someone else, it's not for you. It's not beneficial for you to say, you know what, I'm gonna appease this person by taking on the feelings that they have,
Right.
and then acting on it.
That is the problem.
It's never a good look. Never a
Well,
good look. And this is
actually-
why I want to say simping is dangerous.
I don't.
This is what simping will get you.
She said simping.
Yeah.
All right. Well, in my generation, that is called when keeping it real goes wrong.
Word.
Because that wasn't the moment where you had to come to your wife's defense in the manner in which he took it. That joke, or that, it was a joke. Let's just let's give it what it is. That was Chris Rock's intention, motive, going in, mentioning her name, saying what he said. It was a joke, but a joke of endearment. We could call each other niggas, women call each other bitches. Sorry. And it is used as a term of endearment. That's what they say. So when he says the words, Jada, G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to watch, I believe he was giving her a compliment, not insulting her, not talking about her hair loss because of her ailment. They are not enemies. They weren't enemies before that night. They probably not even enemies right now. But they weren't enemies going into the night. So therefore, anything that is said by a comedian who does the job of telling jokes, it's not like it was somebody who is not a comedian trying to make that as a joke. It was a joke, period. You can't sugarcoat or try to salt it up or spice it up to fit your feelings. Now, the whole situation is, why did Will felt the need to walk up on that stage instead of saying to Jada, I seen her, if you go back, she wasn't laughing, okay? So that means she felt offensive, so she felt like it was offensive to her, all right? Fair enough. We all don't take jokes lightly. Some take jokes in a harsh way. Some people just can laugh it off. Obviously, she wasn't in that type of laughing mode when it came down to her name being mentioned to play a role for a woman who has no hair. I get it. She's sensitive in that nature, and that's okay. She has a right to be. All right? I'm not saying she can't be sensitive or anything like that because of the situation that she's going through. I understand. However, it's just a joke. So the sensitive part of her said, I don't find it to be amusing. Now, when Will laughed, as you've seen him do, I can imagine, because the camera went away from them. I don't know why. It should have kept. I know there's a camera somewhere, another angle, you know what I'm saying, where Will looks at Jada, sees that she didn't find it amusing, whether she gave him the nod to go whip his ass or whatever, we don't know. But we just know that her face didn't look like she was amused. We got it. Will laughed, said, oh shoot. I laughed at something that my wife didn't find funny about it. Right? So instead of doing what the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said, and that's what I always, take in mind, what would the minister do? The minister would have done exactly what he has said to how to settle differences. All Will had to do is say, okay, Jada, I'll take care. Wait for Chris Rock to come off stage during the commercial break. What happened? Step to the brother, as your brother, and say, yo, man, you know that joke about, Jada? Yeah, it was funny, man, but she didn't find it to be amusing. How about you go back on stage and apologize in public? Because the offense occurred in the public eye. So it's only fitting for an apology apology would come from Chris Rock on the same stage that he offended Jada. And I'm pretty sure he would have nodded to say, oh, my bad, Will, no doubt. I got you, my brother. I'll apologize. I don't think his ego and pride is that large that if Will would have just approached him like a man and said, yo, man, my wife was offended by that comment, by that joke. Apologize on stage. It would have been no problem. Everything's in peace. Okay? But he didn't give Chris Rock the opportunity to even know that Jada was offended. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So the steps in which Will took was totally wrong. This wasn't a manner of a man coming to the defense of his woman or his queen. This isn't that situation.
And I want to speak on that, but I want to save it till after we get through the rest of the video. But that's definitely something I want to speak on. Is the,
I mean, we don't need to go no further.
The idea that he's defending her.
Right,
but let's go ahead and play the rest of this. Yes, sir.
All right, go ahead.
Wow, dude.
That's uncalled for.
It was a G.I. Jane jump. I'm going to, okay?
Pause for a second. Pause right there.
Word.
Now, what did Chris Rock just respond to? What did Will
When he
say?
just told him to keep his wife's name out of his mouth.
And what did he say?
He said, "Okay."
Okay. The brother said, "Okay." He didn't have to get smacked to say okay. But the opportunity of him saying to Will, "My bad. I didn't mean it," as everybody heard, he didn't mean no ill intent behind with the joke. But if Will would have just approached him like the man that he is and said, "Brother, Jada didn't find it amusing. Apologize." I'm sure, just like he said, "Okay, I won't anymore mention her name." He would have easily said, "Hey, say less. Jada, I'm sorry for that joke. Please forgive me. I didn't mean no harm about it. And in retrospect, I was pretty much trying to give you a compliment." And if Jada Pinkett would have just stood up, took a bow, absorbed the moment, I think she would have got a standing ovation. But her sensitivity to the whole, whatever, I understand. She has a right to decide to be offended as a woman. But as the man, like you said, son, you cannot allow anybody to put a battery in your back and respond to an act in which only words were thrown out there. And your response is to counter those words with a violent physical act. That does not fit the offense. What fit the offense is the approach from Will to Chris. I'm going to give this brother an opportunity to say, "I'm sorry for saying something that offended your wife." Now, if he would have been like, "Oh, I'm not saying nothing else," what? Hell no. Then the smack is justified. You know what I'm saying? What person, that was not cool what Will did, and he should be charged with assault. And that's the issue. Because he did what he did and not gave Chris Rock the opportunity of apologizing or showing some sort of remorse or giving him the explanation of my intention behind the joke, everybody's saying, "Oh, Will is a masculine man. He defended, he came to his wife's honor." Really? Now, if he gets arrested and gets thrown in jail, now what?
Right, and that's what I wanted to touch on was the is he even let's say, for example, he would have handled this situation the correct way, would it have still been from the stance of him defending his wife's honor? Well, when we go back and look at it, he didn't initially. His first reaction to the situation was no offense, anyways. So if there was no offense, there is no defending. Whose honor is there to defend when there's no offense in the first place? And I'll add this: is she? I've had this conversation with a couple of people so far. Is she someone worth defending? I say that, and hold on, I'll say that to say, I'll speak on what I, you know, what I'm saying. What I'm saying is what I'm saying. I'm not saying this is your opinion. Right.
I can hear. I'll be right.
But when I see this is like, yo, like the wife's, your woman's honor, whoever you're with,
right?
Your honor for her is taken as a reaction to her proactive honor of you.
Okay.
So,
like, where you going?
Can we say that Jada has been proactively defending Will's honor? Well, let's look at what that means. How would Jada be showing her honor to Will? Well, she'd be doing that with her appearance and her behavior.
You may talk about from her past?
From her time with Will.
Right.
And I can make the point that her appearance and her behavior has not held a standing for Will to even defend her in the first place. So when we're looking at this, well, at least for me, I'm like, yo, you can't defend her you can't say anything about this without first acknowledging the issues that you have with her.
The more serious issue.
Right. And to me, it's like, yo, their relationship dichotomy is so foreign to me, because to me, it appears that she wears the pants in the relationship. To me, it appears that this relationship isn't a sound relationship to which it's fair. To me, it looks like Will has been always put on the side of having to repair the damages that she's doing in the relationship. So, and I say that to say, again, we have a situation here where the whole crowd is laughing, but one. The only person that has a constant issue when it pertains to Will and Jada is always one. And then Will having to react to the discontent and the misbehavior of Jada.
Okay. All right. So
I look at it like this. If my wife or my significant other was offended in any way, I would defend them. Yes. However, because we as the viewers, they've made it preview to us their personal relationship. So now we have the lens to be like, well, damn, yo, put it like this, yo, why you slap Chris? You didn't slap August?
Well, that's a good question. And you know, that right
that's
there,
the role. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know, that's why, you know, people may say, I felt like it had to be fake too, but it could go either or, because whether it was fake or real, like Majola Clan is saying, it's all an illusion to distract you from reality. Absolutely. Whether it was fake or whether it was real, it's just a distraction. But not only is it a distraction, but it's causing more of a division between black men and black women. Black women, a lot of them, other than Precious, are in defense of Will, in the honor of Jada. Now, we just explained that there really was no true honor to defend because she was not in imminent danger. She wasn't being attacked. Chris Rock didn't have any ill feelings towards them or her going into the Oscars, whether he said something jokingly in another previous, Oscar award, that doesn't even matter. Okay? People have been bringing up, what he said about her. That doesn't matter. What matters is to what happened this moment. Okay? Whether you feel like Chris Rock deserved it or not, the matter of fact or opinion is the fact that nobody gave Chris Rock the opportunity to say, I didn't mean it in an offensive way, but because you are offended, I apologize. How simple is that? I mean, I don't understand how people are going, oh yeah, he should have smacked me. Why? Now that's another act from a brother to another brother. Because now everybody's saying, well, he wouldn't have done it if it was Jimmy Fallon. And I don't think so either. But we're so quick to say, yeah, he did the right thing against his own brother, which he didn't even give him the opportunity to say, I'm sorry. Let me hear your gripe about what I said, and then give me the opportunity to give you my perspective. But you robbed me from giving you my perspective, and you went gun-hoing and jumped the broom and dived in. Now your freedom is at risk. Not only your freedom, but what if Chris Rock would have been like, oh, Brooklyn style, knocked him out when he turned his back on him. Will falls and breaks a leg, falls and kills himself by the blow to the head that he got. Anything could have jumped off that could have been worse. And everybody would have had to go back and say, how did it all begin again? Oh yeah, a simple joke that wasn't even the intention to insult or talk about the ailment in which she's going through. Again, G.I. Jane is held up in high regard as a strong woman. So when a black woman is only looking to play a role because she has the look of no hair, that wasn't making fun of the no hair look in an insulting way. It was saying, as a black woman, you have the ability, you should play G.I. Jane too, now that you don't have any hair. So that's kind of like a compliment. But because it was in a joking context, it's being produced as a joke. But when you don't have the insight and you don't take the time to say, I'm not going to automatically assume that Chris Rock is insulting my wife, even though she feels offended by it. Remember, the context is jokes. Now, how simple could it have been if he would have just been like, yo, Chris, yo, man, I know you saw me laugh. And I did find it a little bit funny myself. But, the queen, man, she didn't find it that funny. Can you, apologize? And gave him the opportunity to say yes or no. Now, because Will went now on whatever platform and he apologized to Chris, I think by now in the Academy. Now, one thing I had a question too, whether it was fake or not, was that is a assault and battery on national TV, right? Whenever that occurs, that's a crime. Charges should be brought. And I know Chris Rock said he's not even thinking about pressing no charges. However, the LAPD can still bring charges. Now, because they didn't confirm or they couldn't determine whether or not the act was staged at the time or it was real, they said they not, because Chris Rock wasn't going to give any statements, they didn't bother to touch it at that point. But Will apologized to Chris Rock. Now he made it or confirmed it to be real. And now let's just say Will gets a charge. Now we're back to what the scenario was originally. Was it worth it? Was getting a charge worth it? Because Jada didn't find it amusing? Regardless of whether or not, her relationship status should be upheld or anything. Son, I'll just say this. That has nothing to do with us. That's none of our business. However their relationship is portrayed or your opinion about the relationship is totally irrelevant, right? What matters is, was the act of Will Smith the act in which it justified the offense? If somebody steals candy out of the store and somebody commits murder, is the punishment the same? No.
Not at all.
So the offense has the consequence has to be justified based on the offense. Chris Rock offended Jada by a joke that she did not find amusing. And because of that reason alone, he had to get physically assaulted. To do what? Make him not talk about her again? All he had to do was just say it. Also, all Will had to just say is, yo, bro, don't mention her name anymore. Then he smacked her and then went back and then he yelled at him. Oh, well, bro, why you could have yelled at the table? Why you had to?
No, and I think that's why I believe they're first I want to say they've made, I don't care about the relationship, to be honest. However, they've made it public. So when you make your private life public life, I have the right to criticize it. And I'm gonna stick with the fact that this is like the hair that broke the camel's back, and we've unfortunately and fortunately we've been able to essentially watch exactly the highlights of what has led up to this specific moment. I don't think this moment is separate from what we've seen from their previous viewings that we've been able to witness in their relationship. I think a lot of this stems back from a lot of the emasculation that has been happening in their relationship. And so when a man is emasculated consistently in a relationship,
mm-hmm.
You're just it's only suppression. And it came, as we saw, it came out, and unfortunately it came out on the biggest stage. That show had nothing to do with Jada. They were there for Will. It was his night. It was supposed to be about him.
Right.
But as we see in relationships that are not in balance, where the woman is wearing the pants, the world revolves around her. Even when the situation has nothing to do about her. If she was offended,
mm-hmm.
she should have had the know-it-all to know that tonight is not about me. I'm not going to make it about me. Tonight is about Will. I know everyone knew going into the show that Will was going to win that Oscar. including Jada.
Right.
But what did Jada do? She made the night about her, and in doing that, and in doing what we've seen her do, constantly making their relationship not about Will, to be honest, but only about her, always leads to destructive behavior. Now, this is the worst of it that we've seen, but we've seen the red table talk of their conversation and her letting Will know that it was just an entanglement, and his reaction to that. That reaction is no different than what we've seen here. It's just a different way of portraying it. But the emasculation that is leading to Will's behavior is constant, going back to Jada and their relationship. So she should not be wearing the pants, and this is the issue in which what can happen when the relationship is out of balance. And I also say this, for the women out there that are upholding, and the men as well, upholding the actions of Will, I will say to my viewers, stay away from people like that. These are the type of people you do not want to have a relationship with, because they will use you.
Good point, son.
And they don't care about the consequences that happen to you. Nothing was gonna. You see, Jada took all offense, right?
Right.
But took no responsibility to anything that would have happened because of her offense. What I mean when I say that is, she felt slighted.
Right.
So I guarantee you, what happened was, and like a lot of men, we know what she gave the look.
Right.
Will do something.
Right. That's what I said earlier.
So Will had to take all accountability for how she felt. He could have went to jail based on how she felt.
And he still could. Like I told you, he already apologized. So that makes it seem like it was real. So if it was real and not scripted, that's an assault. That's an assault. An unmerited assault. Unprovoked. A word doesn't produce or shouldn't produce the response of an assault. I mean, we're not kids, man. You understand what I'm saying?
Word.
So no matter, regardless of what the relationship is, that's what I'm saying. It has nothing to do. It has everything to do with the mental stability. Okay? Because we are in the business or have been in positions of dealing with mental illness, right? Mm-hmm. And we know, you and I both know, that in mental illness, the main cause of mental illness or mental instability is trauma. So when somebody does something that is, and they have a response to it, which is not a safe way to respond to something, whether they're hurting themselves or hurting others, we call those triggers. So when somebody's triggered, they totally disregard consequence. They throw it out the way. They don't even acknowledge that there is a consequence if I commit this act. They are triggered, which means that they are responding without thinking. So because Will laughed, then turned, and they had looked at his wife and saw that she wasn't laughing, triggered. Because what would that cause or create when he go home? Drama.
Yeah, we were saying it before we got on the show. We were like, the main reason Will probably did this is because he was like, Chris, is either you or me, and then I pick me.
Right.
So you got to get it.
Yeah. You know what I mean? But again, that ain't the proper way of handling a situation where it was only words. used. The act doesn't justify the means. What are we? I don't understand a lot of my people. You know what I'm saying? And I'm talking about specific people, but I'm not going to say their names. I have love for these certain individuals because I've been following them from day one. You know what I'm saying? But you cannot say to me, because I'm not condoning anything that Will did. I'm actually against what he did. Yes, this wasn't an honorable act to defend his wife. Okay? Because I don't agree, or a lot of men doesn't agree, now all of a sudden we wouldn't protect our wife or our their significant other if it was us? That's BS. I am wise enough to know the offense of a joke that my wife doesn't particularly like will not get me a possible jail sentence. Not only that, I could get killed trying to defend words against my wife from what a man is saying to her. When keeping it real go wrong, we are in some deep doo-doo, and we are bigging up the act for this offense. What are we talking about, man? This is not the honorable thing of defending your wife scenario. Please take that out. They don't even come with me with that nonsense, man. This is not it. And as a father to his son and to my other sons and to my daughters, if somebody called my daughter a B word, call me, please, and let me hear it. Don't respond and confront the man as a woman. Call on me. Call your brothers. To my sons, if you're with your significant other and some dude honks the horn, yells something, says anything to your girlfriend or wife, take it like a grain of salt. Don't react because she may say to you or feel offended, okay? Because that response or that moment could be your last. And then what? Then what? On the gravestone, that's like, remember Harlem Nights? I showed you Harlem Nights when you were younger. You remember that movie?
Yeah, I watched it recently, actually, yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, cool. So in Harlem Nights, Richard Pryor is telling Eddie Murphy, you know, what you want to go and just shoot up the whole dang on block, and then you get yourself killed because you're not a punk. So the gravestone is going to say, here's a good man, Tracy so and so. He ain't a punk. He came to the defense of his wife. He came to the defense of a girl who was being called a B word, or her feelings got hurt because another man said something to her that she didn't like, and now all of a sudden he's in the grave because you got offended. Now Will Smith can possibly face jail time because she got offended.
And I just want to add to, I just want to, speak on this a little bit more because I think the issue is a whole lot bigger than what people are seeing it to be, and that's this is not a isolated incident. It's probably the biggest that it is because of the names that are involved, but right. Things like this has been happening in the Black community all the time, where specifically Black men are in prison for domestic situations that involve their significant other and maybe another man or something like something of that such. and
Right.
it astounds me that it's reached this level. It's reached you know what I'm saying, the quote high value men in our demographic, and it's saying, you know, we're all going through a big issue in the Black community right now, which is the lack of family structure.
Right.
We all know very well that their structure of how their family is weird. It's off. Some people may call it modern, but it doesn't work.
Mhm.
And this is a clear example of this modern way of holding of a family, of discarding the traditional way of how a family should be ran, and going to this modern. These are the results of these are the outcomes of
Right.
this new modern way of having a relationship. It doesn't work.
Right. Right.
It
It
doesn't
doesn't
work.
work. Well, I mean, yo,
And this, in like I'm gonna pronounce the name wrong. Mahola Clan has said Will is at a point now, and it seems to me that he's trying to redeem his masculinity that he's already lost.
well,
And what I'm seeing Will do is constantly trying to get validation from his wife that he's the man. No man
well,
wants to be in a relationship with a woman that is not making you feel like a man.
I think it's more
Yeah.
to it. You're right on, right? You're right on, and then there's more. I think that there's some added
Yeah, facts.
things to it, right? But again, we cannot ignore his response
All right.
and try to make justification of it, because it could possibly get him.
Oh, I'm not trying to justify it. I'm just explaining why. Like,
Right, right.
for those that don't understand, like, yo, how did Will get to this point?
Right.
Well, yeah,
Right.
there's some steps taken to like
Right.
what we see. Like, it just wasn't like a fluke of nature. No, there was some, you know, some
all things happen
prerequisites.
for a reason. And
Yeah.
that's why I say, you know, I mean, when I deal with, I work with mental illness in adults and now with children, and there is no regard of any consequence. Okay, so if this individual, certain individuals that I have, let's just say they have an addiction to, let's just say, taking a shower, right? I had one client who just always wanted to take a shower, no matter what. We can give him a shower. 5 minutes later, he's taking off his clothes, trying to get back in the bathroom again. Okay, so what you going to do? Either provide him that shower every single time he wanted, or try to prevent him from going in the bathroom, right? So they would step over or step on anybody laying on the floor to get to that bathroom, because they have a one-track mind. Okay, they don't have no type of, if I do this, I'm going to get in trouble. Will had that same response. And that's why I said it's a mental thing.
Exactly.
It all stems from things that been built up. Yep, you're right on it. You're right on it, son. But even still, we are in control of what we do. And having that as the reason for my act of violence towards another man cannot be justified in court unless you say I was diagnosed with a mental illness. Okay? Only
how I look at this is like, yo, honestly, if he would have just left her like he should have a long time ago, none of this would have happened.
we can't talk about what he could have, should have. Let's. I understand.
I would say this is a right and wrong way of dealing with
right.
certain situations, and how I'm looking at it is like this: we're dealing with a woman who is openly masculine. She lets it be known. Yo, what do you do as a man when you're dealing with a woman that wants to be your equal? that you have to fight for, to be to you know what I'm saying, someone has to be the feminine, someone has to be the masculine,
Right.
in the relationship. Yo, stop fighting. Yo, Will, there's nothing you can do to prove to this woman that you're man enough. His mental has gotten so far where maybe this will make her finally understand that I'm the man. No, man, there's nothing. She's a lost cause, brother. And I'm saying this to say he's gonna lose himself.
Well, like I said,
trying to appease her.
Is the loss of your freedom worth the act or the offense? Not only does not the response that he gave not justified, but now your reason of maybe catching a charge is going to be over a joke. Over a joke. You could go to jail over a joke. But some women are saying this man is the greatest man to come to the defense of and honor of his wife. Over a joke. By a comedian who is known to joke on people in the front row. Don't sit your butt in the front row if you are that sensitive. There's a show that used to come on back in the day called In Living Color. You may have heard it. I know, son. I've shown it to you plenty of times. And a great actor, comedian, love this dude, Damon Wayans. Shout out to Damon and my son. And there was a skit that he used to play called Handyman. And in the skit, he played a handicapped superhero. All right. Now, if that skit came on today, it wouldn't even probably air. That show would probably be canceled right now. My point is this: when that was a blatant portrayal of those who are, mentally, physically disabled, right? But that was a blatant act. Like, we knew that Damon Wayans was portraying, or he was playing a role depicting somebody with a physically handicapped, right? What was Chris Rock's intention? Does anybody know? Has anybody even asked him? We already know that Will didn't ask him. But what if his whole intention, and matter of fact, he said it was just a G.I. Jane joke. Why did you have to hit me? Why couldn't you just say, yo, Chris, can you apologize? Because Jada don't probably believe you.
And that's another thing, and I want to counteract with those people that said, that Will, rightfully defending his family. Like, how about Chris Rock's family? How about his kids that were there?
Right. I mean, so many things that could have set, and we don't know if this is over, or you know what I'm saying. There's so many things that could have been set off, son, and the consequences are at this point still could be severe. And again, for the act of only words being or taken offensively. So the whole, I mean, when I was growing up in the 80s, sticks and stones may break your bones, but words can't hurt you. But if these words really, really, truly hurted her, did Chris Rock know that? Did he know that? Because again,
he was supposed to be able to read her mind and tell that he should have. He was supposed to know before he told the joke that he shouldn't tell the joke.
But it wasn't to be malicious. It wasn't to be taken in a disrespectful, derogatory. I'm talking about the disease or ailment that she's going through, and I'm using that ailment and disease that she's going through to knock her, to make fun of her. Why is everybody putting so much because of what? Y'all taking it too far. Y'all taking it that far because that is the only way that they can really truly justify the act that Will took. Let's keep it real. Because if you continue on saying it was just a joke, you cannot continue on saying he deserved to get smacked for it. And then don't expect to be given any punishment. So the punishment will meet the act, but the punishment doesn't really meet the offense. It's like this. But the response is up here, right? But the initial offense is way down here. This is the consequence. This is the offense. But this is the response to the offense. Now the offense meets the consequence.
The last thing I want to say on this topic is I've gotten the energy from Will and Jada and that they've been openly trying to portray themselves as role models. And I can say this, growing up, I looked up to Will, and I'm sure women looked up to Jada, specifically in my age range. And I've talked to some guys my age, and we're all feeling the same. Like, we feel let down by Will. Of what we've seen of him from the past couple of years, and he to us, he tried to. We looked up to him at one point in time. Mm-hmm. That was Hitchcock. That's Hancock. I mean that was Hitch. He played Hitch in the
Oh, okay, yeah, another movie.
That's Rico Suave. That's Mike Lowry.
Right.
But I'm saying in real life, you letting me down, man. You're not Hitch. You're not Hancock. You're far from Mike Lowry.
And on that, son,
And that's why I want to leave it at that. I'm just disappointed. Like I'm like I said, I'm let down, and I've talked to some guys my age that I'm saying we're all saying this thing, like, we're.
And this is good.
Just let down. Like
I'm glad you're expressing this for your age, for your generation, right? I'm glad you're making that as a point of influence, as a point of somebody in which, in your generation growing up, you watched and admired and used as an example of a type of man that you have wanted to become or attempt to become. And this is what this show is for, man. This is why we come on.
Absolutely.
Father and son. So that way the youth can your generation can give your take on things, and then my generation can give our own take on it. And in this is how we bridge that gap. You know what I'm saying? So in the defense to Will, and this is the only defense I will provide for him, And you said it. The things that escalated or built up to that point in that night, Sunday night, has created instability in his brain. And for that moment, he was not thinking of the consequence. He was not thinking of how his reputation is now going to could possibly shattered. He was not thinking about himself, nor Chris Rock. He was only thinking about how can I show face with this woman and do something that she will be approved of me doing, because he felt a little wrong by laughing. So in that moment, I'll give him a pass and say he wasn't thinking straight, right? Yeah, obviously he wasn't, because he snapped. So that can be his defense if it comes down to it when they gotta go to court. Hope that doesn't, because yo, man, there really is no legal justification. And you can't justify something that you do legally, not morally. And this is what a lot of our women are doing. They're trying to justify it on a moral code, which is totally wrong, and it doesn't, like I said, the offense doesn't match the response. So on the moral code, you got it wrong. On a legal issue, what is the legal justification? Find one. I'll wait.
Word. Hey, Pops, I think it's about time we go ahead and get out of here. To the viewers out there, we have not let you guys know yet, but if you guys are viewing our channel, you guys like the topics that we're talking about, you guys, you know what I'm saying, want to show us support, leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. It helps us a lot, helps our algorithm. We want to get our channel out as much as possible to the viewers. And the best way to do that is for you guys to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Hey, you know what's even better? Talking to your friends. Be like, hey, we watched TwoTreys podcast today. It was awesome. You guys should watch as well. So, we'll, you know what I'm saying? We appreciate that as well. Also, in the description box, there is our donations tab. So you guys can leave a donation to the channel as well. So, yeah, please show your support. Pops, is there anything else you want to add before we get out of here?
One thing, man. Black people, we got to get our stuff together. We ain't got no more time to be letting things divide us, take us off our focus, take us away from anything that will produce peace, that will produce unity, and that will equal out to our liberation. Because that's what is at stake right now, man.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? That's what's at stake. I'm tired of this government governing our people where we should be governing ourselves, policing ourselves. Come on, man. Take it out with a favor, son.
All right, Pops, I got the song queued up for us. Today we will be listening to
shout out to Mahala Clan. Appreciate
Let's go ahead and do All Please by yours truly, Prince Nicole. All right, so I have the song queued up for us. To the viewers out there, thank you guys for tuning in. It's been another episode of TwoTreys podcast. We thank you guys for watching. And possibly anything else you want to say for the viewers before you head out?
You know, the minister said that's why I want you to play the Minister Farrakhan's words, man. You know,
Word,
set
absolutely.
the standard. You know what I mean? And we always got to remember, you know, if we're not saying the words, what would the minister do? Just say, what would Jesus do? If you're a Christian, say, what would Jesus do? How would he have handled this situation? You know? And then for the people who are the lovers of violence and find things to be okay to be violent now towards your own brother, you need to wake up. You're not as woke as you claim you are. If you are justifying or finding that to be an acceptable act towards your brother, and you don't even talk to this man first. Hey, come on, man. We out of here.
All right, Pops. I love your
you,
take
son.
on today's show. Love you too, Pops.
And if you have,
All right.
yo, man, keep your hands to yourself.
Word. All right,
Unless
guys.
you have to, unless you're being aggressed upon, then you have the right to defend yourself. But you use the same fight, you use the same attack or the same response that somebody's attacking you with. Meaning, if somebody's coming at you with a fist, you don't have the right to come back at them with the gun.
All right. At the most you can do is mirror,
Exactly.
not escalate.
Indeed. Come on, people. Disappointed in us, man.
Yeah.
Still love them. I love my people. But I'm disappointed in a lot of us. I'm not gonna mention these names. Yeah. Salute.
All right, Pops.
All right.
You have a blessed day. Assalamu
By
alaikum.
all means. Wa alaikum salam. Peace, world.
All right, guys. So go ahead and get the song queued up for us to get us out of the show. But other than that, you guys have a great day, and we'll see you on our next episode.
All this shit that's for me. What they did was for us. What they did wasn't free, but they did it for free. All the shit they made up, all the shit that they did, yeah, they didn't break up. All the shit they went through, all the shit that they been through, yeah, you know what I'm talking. I'm talking about our family. I'm talking about the ones that loved us. I'm talking about the ones that really loved us. The ones that really love you. They went through oceans and shit. Deep emotions that kill. That shit that is just so real. Wicked games that they played on us. I'm talking the fuss. I'm stepping the fuck it up. Cause that's what God gave to us at least. I just wanna say my piece before I leave these streets gone. Dead under 6 feet on ways. All this winters that'll be gone. All these times that I won't be able to say the things that may change the ways for my seed and the things they go through. Oh my gosh, I go in so hard. I go in, I'll go in, I'll drive my car in on them. Whatever it would take to see the end of this. No, I really can't pretend, cause I ain't cool with most of them. Cause most of them can't understand what's happening to me. Now we ain't taking no chances. All we want is success. So we wish you your best. Oh, please. Goddamn, move out the way, baby. Yeah, this is new sway. New fit is suit the new way. Oh, please. We not taking no chances with the enemy. Goddamn, you ain't no friend of me. Got the way out silly be. Taking the beeline to the way to the honey. I'm talking M-O-N-E-Y. This shit gonna make you cry. I know I understand. To see me do my thing, make you hurt. Understand. Right there, you should've just stayed with me. You should've just held my back. You should've just played safety. Oh, please. You don't know how to play for the team. You just play for what you dream. You don't know how to live to eat. Now it's a cut to your spleen. You bleeding out, your jeans bloody. Look at you, look muddy. All of you look funny. You sit on sidelines. Now you was talking your shit. I wanna hear it right now. Oh, please. Shut the fuck, let me do my thing. Watch my luck up, crank up now. Watch me flip and do my thing. Oh, please. You wasn't with me from the beginning. Now you want my business. Nah, none of that. I ain't giving out no dividends. I ain't taking safe risks. Don't reach out with fake gifts. Oh, please.